Hey guys, Dr. Kori here at the Diet Doc. Welcome to your Monday Motivational Mastery, episode number 20. Here's what we're talking about today. 3 statements that deserve a double take. Okay, we're gonna get into just a really quick and dirty assessment of 3 statements that I cringe when I hear. And not just from other people, but when I hear them come out of my own mouth, my first reaction is pause. And then the second thing I like to do is to reframe them. Okay? Why? Well, these statements, they make me kind of contract, and I can feel myself kind of like get more rigid rather than feeling open and expansive and curious, right? I think that the best way to live our lives is with this discovery approach, this sense of exploration. And if we're in that put on your armor mode, and if these 3 statements are something you hear yourself say all the time, then we kind of need to be acting a little differently, more deliberately, more consciously. So here's the first one. I don't have time. Okay, granted, some of us have more responsibilities than other people and more on our plates. Some of us wear many hats, me included. Some of us have taken on a lot of duties that require a certain amount of time, but we each have the same 24 hours every day, right? When we say, I don't have time for one thing, I think it's very important that we remember that we are choosing to prioritize another thing. And when we say no to one thing, we're saying yes to another, and vice versa. When we hear this statement, I don't have time, here is what I propose for a follow-up. What am I prioritizing? Okay? If I'm hearing myself say, I don't have time, what am I saying I don't have time for? And is that thing I'm saying I don't have time for really something that needs my attention, right? We have to ask then if what we're saying yes to instead is really in line with what we've said is important to us. Is it in line with what we've said we want to accomplish? If not, a reframe is in order. If you're hearing yourself say this, I would take the time for an itemized assessment of how you are actually spending your time. What are you doing with every minute of your day? And you might just find that you're spending time on lots of idle, unproductive things. Like social media. Okay, different. If you're running a business and you're doing something very strategic and it's on your calendar and it's blocked off as something important, that's different than just scrolling through the Facebook pages and just kind of getting lost, okay, and distracted. Take an assessment. How are you spending your time? And see if you can actually legitimately say, I don't have time. Here's number 2. I'm busy. I don't want to be busy. Do you want to be busy? Busy to me says that we're just kind of filling the time that we say we're not having meaninglessly. I would much rather be productive. Let's ensure that if we say we are busy, then that what we are doing is leading to something that we genuinely care about. Kind of goes back to what I mentioned with number 1. I think a lot of people wear I'm busy kind of like a status symbol. I don't have any time for anything. I'm just doing everything that's so very important. I get it. If that's your bag, more power to you, but I kind of prefer to be productively involved as opposed to busy and distracted and chaotic and bored. How about you? Here's number 3. Yeah, but. Again, but. One of those words, it's a counter word. It kind of closes me off, closes other people off to you when you say it. When I hear this from people, I feel like it's this impulsive, kinda ignorant attempt to acknowledge, but then at the same time, make it very clear that you disagree. But it's this impulsive disagreement because yeah, but comes out of our mouths like quickly, without thought, without discernment, without deliberation, right? And there isn't that openness that I've talked about to kind of live into whatever that person is saying, to get curious, to discover, to understand. And it doesn't really allow for seeing that there are multiple truths in every conversation, in every experience. My truth is not the only truth. Okay, granted, sometimes I'd like to think it is, but in reality, it's not. Here's the shift. Yes, and you see how that opens up the dialogue? See how yes, and opens up the conversation like, and here's another take. Here's another perspective. So now there's the acknowledgement of the first, and we open up to the possibilities of another, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. So start noticing, guys, how often you say, yeah, but. And if you say, yeah, but, did you really actually consider what you heard before you said it? What's your motivation for it? Maybe it's just your default to put up a wall and be right and have things go your way. Maybe you say it because there's this instant like sense of discomfort because what you hear is misaligned with a belief that you have. But what's the harm in opening up to see that there are different ways of seeing things? Let's see this week how you feel when you notice those words come out of your mouth. Let's make those shifts. Thanks, guys.